Good morning, everybody. This is my second workout video while you're at home during this quarantine. Today, we're going to work on a circuit involving a backpack and some canned goods. Although there's lots of great at-home equipment you could have for a home gym, like sandbag, dumbbells, resistance bands, or even a kettlebell. There's a lot that you can do with simple stuff, and I know all y'all have a backpack, and all y'all probably have books or other heavy things you can put in your backpack. So what I'm going to do first is get some nice heavy books, How to Cook Everything. I'm going to put the nice heavy biochemistry textbook in there at the bottom as well. Then fill it out with some classic Thomas Hardy, Hunger Games. Now, when you're filling up your own backpack, you're going to want to determine what the appropriate weight is for you, and that might take some trial and error. So now I'm going to close up the backpack, get it nice and tight. I also cinched up the handles so they're nice and tight and there's no extra room there. Alright, so our first exercises are going to be some warm-ups to get us going with these pinto beans or whatever canned good you have at home. So our first exercise is going to be, we're going to start with the bicep curl, turn our shoulders out, press up, and then let them arch down to the side. And we're going to do this nice and slow, focusing on our posture. Just do this maybe 10 to 15 times. Get a nice stretch in, activate our upper body. Our next stretch is going to be a variation of a step back lunge, and we're going to do another variation later on. Step back lunge is one of the best exercises you can do. You can do really high reps, a lot of volume to make it cardio, but right now we're just going to do 20 to 30 reps of a step back lunge with the forward arm extension. So we're going to step back, we're not going to let our knee touch the ground, but we're going to get close, and we're going to extend our arm, that's the same as our front leg, same side, then step back. Getting nice little warm up in for lower body, working on keeping our stomach nice and tight. A nice little warm up. Next, we're going to move on to our first lower body exercise. So what we're going to do is pick up our backpack. We're going to hold it in front of us, and we're going to do an exercise for our hamstrings called a straight leg Romanian deadlift. So we're going to stand up nice and straight. We're going to hinge forward, keeping our back straight, and hinge on back. And when you hinge forward, in order to come up, you're not going to arch your back. You're basically going to flex your hamstrings and your glutes and use those muscles to pull your upper body back up. Now, with all these exercises, we're going to scale them. So we're going to increase or decrease the difficulty. So to scale this exercise, what we're going to do is make it a single leg Romanian deadlift if you're going for a little bit more of a challenge. So same idea, but now we're working on our balance and stability a little bit. The left, and then with the right. And we want to do, if we're doing both legs, 10 to 20 reps. And if we're doing single leg, we want to do 8 to 12 reps per leg. All right, the next exercise we're going to do is a bicep curl. So if you've got a strap on the top of your backpack, that's nice to use. If not, you can use the back straps. So we're going to stand nice and tall. Arms down in front of us, curl on up, bring it down nice and slowly, up, nice and slow. Try to do 8 to 12 reps on each arm. If you don't have a top strap, you can take the back straps and bring them together like so. Keep that arm tight by your side. Try to keep good posture. Next, another lower body exercise we're gonna do is squats. So instead of putting it on our back and wearing it like a backpack, we're gonna hold it in front of us, about 6 inches away from our chest. And when we squat, we're gonna start the motion with our butt going backwards, not a bend in our knees. So we're gonna hinge back, come down, and up. Pretty simple exercise, but very efficient. Try to do 10 to 20 of these. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can include an overhead press as you go up. Our next exercise will be a standing row. So this is a nice exercise for our back and our shoulders. We're going to hold the bag with one hand, bring those back straps together. We're going to hinge forward to about 45 degrees if we can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull up into the outside, like so. Try to do 8 to 12 reps per arm. Keeping your other hand behind your back to make sure that back is straight and there's no curve in your spine. Nice and controlled. Odin's barking on cue. Our next exercise is a step back lunge, like we were working on before, but this time with a little bit of additional weight. So now I'm going to hold the backpack in front of my body, about 6 inches or so. I'm going to step back. Once again, we don't want our knee to touch the ground, but almost. Go down as far as we can. And if we want to make it a little bit harder, we can twist in the direction of our front leg. You might lose your balance, and that's okay. That's part of the challenge. Just don't overdo it, stay safe. And we want to try to do 15 to 20 of those, or I guess 16 to 20 of those. So that'd be 8 to 10 on each leg. Our last exercise is an overhead press. So for this, you want to be a little bit careful. We're going to start with my dominant side, my right hand. Stand nice and tall, good posture. And press up, then down. And this is really a great exercise for the backpack because it's not quite totally stable, so my shoulder has to compensate and do a little bit extra work. We're going to do 5 of these on each side, only 5. Now if you use the same amount of weight on the left side, it's going to be a little bit harder. So it's going to be harder to balance. So let's see, 1, 2 on the left, and now let's say it's getting a little bit wiggly. I can bring over my right hand to stabilize and just put those 2 fingers there. Just work on guiding it up until I get to 5. So that would be 1 set of the circuit. And what we want to do is go through that whole circuit 3 times for a complete workout. And hopefully that'll be a good way for you to get your upper body and lower body working and just work a little bit of the core, blow off a little bit of steam while you're inside at home. So everybody have a great weekend and go Lions.